This is Leo Cloutier with Malice to None. It's indeed a pleasure to have as our guest today one of the greatest outfielders in Major League Baseball. I'd like to welcome to our show from the National League champion Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose. Welcome, Pete.
Well, Leo, it's nice seeing you, and it's always a pleasure to be here in Manchester.
Well, you know, Pete, it's kind of cold. It's not really spring training weather, but yet spring training is not so far, is it?
Well, once you get that contract for the new year, as baseball is right around the corner, and we got about 4.5 weeks before we go to spring training. We'll be there about 25th of February, and really, I'm anticipating a real fine year. It's really as exciting last year being in the World Series and opening up our new stadium and having the All-Star game in Cincinnati, and we just hope that we could be as successful this year as we was in '70.
Pete, that World Series check must have come in handy.
Well, I sure did, Leo. You know, I'm not used to getting something like that in late November. It's a nice turkey day present, you might say. We used to get it around Thanksgiving, and it's just a shame we couldn't get the winner's share, but that's something to shoot for this year. As far as we're concerned, we're not on top. We're just a second place. We come in second last year, and we just got to work on that. There's only one place to be, and that's in the top.
And Pete, that World Series, many of the games, 2 or 3 of the games could have gone one way or the other.
Well, Leo, our pitching was a little sour going in. We knew we wasn't going to have Simpson, who had a tremendous year for us before he came up with a sore arm, but we expected to have McLaughlin and Merritt in the World Series, and we lost both of those due to injuries. And it's pretty tough to beat a team as good as Baltimore with 1 or 2 good pitchers, and Cloutier and Nolan was the only 2 pitchers we had, our starting pitchers that were able to pitch, and we knew we was a little thin going in, but we did get out in front. Cincinnati, we do not have trouble scoring runs, but Baltimore don't have trouble either, and you got to keep them off the base to beat them.
Pete, you're undoubtedly the greatest hustler in baseball today. You never shirk. You seem to be moving every minute. How do you keep yourself geared up that way?
Well, Leo, I think it's just like watching you interview me or watching you on TV or something. It's just when you enjoy doing something, like I enjoy playing baseball. It's just the way it comes out. You might say a bubble's over because I enjoy playing baseball so much. It's just not a job to me. It's fun, and I get to meet a lot of personal people and get to see a lot of towns. And I even got to come to New Hampshire because I was a baseball player.
Pete, you are probably the only Major League Baseball player who ever attempted or ever succeeded in stealing first base.
Well, Leo, I figure the faster you get down to first, the faster you got a chance of getting to second, and that's what it's about. You got to get around the bases. But I like to hustle. I don't do it for any false purposes or anything. I just enjoy playing baseball and run. And one thing the good Lord gave me is good legs, and one thing that's easy to do, and that's run.
Pete, you don't only steal first, second, and third, but you did quite a job in the All-Star game coming into home plate into Ray Fossey, a pal of yours.
Well, that was just one of those situations, Leo, where I did what I had to do, and he was doing the right thing, he thought, when he was blocking the plate. But we were both playing to win, and it just so happens that he missed the ball, and I was safe, and the game was over. But there was a lot of stink raised about that play, but I'm sure if it had happened in the 6th or 7th inning, there wouldn't have been as much said about it. But really, it was a very unexciting ball game, and that was one of the climatic moments, you might say, because it happened the last play of the ball game.
Pete, I certainly want to thank you very much for this interview. It's been a pleasure having you at our baseball dinner. It's been a pleasure talking to you once more. A pennant, a World Series championship, and a batting championship for you.
Well, I take this time to thank you for having me, because it's always a pleasure talking with anybody that enjoys baseball as much as you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pete. This was an interview with Pete Rose, one of the greatest outfielders in baseball today, a member of the Cincinnati Reds, the National League champions. And this brings us to the end of With Malice to None for today. Until tomorrow at the same time, Leo Cloutier, good day.
Brought to you by Poster Fix, offering poster restoration and linen backing for 40 years. At Poster Fix, we bring your vintage posters back to life.